Hello. So stupid. It's always stupid. Stupid. Add this to my collection over here. I don't know why I keep 7 of them, but I do. Oop. You're totally off-centered. That's better. Yeah, maybe up a little bit. Not done with that screen. There we go. Always representing. Early start today. Early start. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. All right, here we go.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your host, Travis Holmes.
Son of a bitch! I knew it was going to happen. Son of a bitch! And the reason I say I knew it was going to happen, I sat there and watched in slow motion this actually unfold in front of me. And I'm thinking in my mind, this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen to me right here. It's not going to happen right here in front. It's oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. Oh, damn it. I said, I knew that was going to happen. What I'm getting at is, of course, you know, I love going to Walmart. I always have a Walmart story. Now, those of you new to the show, This Is 50 is basically just therapy for me. I talk about some serious stuff, some mental health stuff, and just some odds and ends stuff that makes us all human, connects us all together at some point or whatever. So I'm sitting in Walmart, and excuse me, I have little people in my throat. So I'm sitting in Walmart, and the milk coolers, and I'm going through and looking for a certain big whip or something, heavy whipping cream or something, buttermilk, or I don't know what I was looking for. I was looking for something in the coolers. Oh, I was looking for the actual, the half-gallon milk that had the longest date on it. You know, the furthest one out. So I'm sitting there looking, and I hear this woman, and I'm going to show a picture of her on if you're watching this on YouTube, we have a YouTube channel at This Is 50. You can watch this in real time. The whole entire show is available over there as well. And you ever seen 80-year-old ladies talk on a cell phone? First of all, 80-year-old ladies are they're like is it Gollum from I don't watch Lord of the Rings or whatever it's called, where they're just so frail, they're just so small and so frail, and for whatever reason, them holding up a cell phone, if you're watching me here on the video, the cell phone's like twice the size of their fucking head, you know, and they can barely hold it up. And so this lady who's 80-something years old, she's talking to her daughter, so I'm thinking the daughter's what? You know, if she's 80, she came from a background of people that had kids at, 18, 19 years old, so the daughter's probably 62, and she's got the cell phone, or she's talking to like one of her girlfriends at the bridge club or whatever, and she's like, I'm sitting in the milk aisle, and I'm and she's pushing her cart with her left hand and talking. I know I got the bad angle on this phone here, so there we go. That's a better angle. And she's got the thing pressed up against her face so much that it's blocking. You ever seen horses with blinders on? It's blocking her right side of vision, her peripheral vision. And she's got the cell phone stuck to her face, and she's like, I know, I'm like, and blah, 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 blah. And she's looking around and trying to figure out, I don't know what she's doing. I couldn't catch the gist of it. So I grabbed my milk, and I'm on the interior aisle, or closest to the coolers. She's about a shopping cart width coming down the opposite direction. And so I'm waiting for her to go by, because if she's not paying attention, first of all, if I take a left in front of her, I'm going to hit her cart, her shopping cart. So I just kind of take my shopping cart and I just kind of angle it towards, the coolers are on my right-hand side. So kind of angle my shopping cart to the coolers to the right-hand side so she doesn't hit my shopping cart. Now, I physically are maintaining my stance. Now, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'1". I'm 267 pounds. Thank you very much. Walking 4 miles every day. Lost some weight. And I wear a size 13 shoe. Wide. 13 wide. And she comes up, not paying attention, and she's looking around. I don't know what she's doing. Grazes the side of my cart, my shopping cart. Oh my God, sorry. Doesn't care. Fucking does not care. And then I go, well, she's hitting my cart and she's going to continue on this path. You know what's next? My foot. My foot's on the ground. Where else would your foot be there, dummy? Behind your head, you freaking homo. And she literally, ba-thump, the-thump. Front wheels go over my foot, back wheels go over my foot. Now I say my foot. She probably caught like the big toe and piggy number 2 and piggy number 3 right next to it. But still, she ran over my foot. Boom, boom. I'm sorry. And I literally put my head down. I go, I knew that was going to fucking happen. I'm sorry. And I said it loud enough to whoever she's talking to on the phone could hear me. I don't know what's wrong with him. So I'm like, God damn it. So at the time it happened, I'm thinking this lady just hit me. So I'm walking around and I go, you know what? I'm going to get a picture of this. I'm going to talk about this old lady in the grocery store. So I went and got a picture of her, and you'll see it up here shortly. But I'm like, if this is what she's doing in a shopping cart or with a shopping cart in a store, what is she doing on the highway? She was by herself. I know she didn't look like she didn't have one of those motorized vehicles. It didn't look like she was incapacitated like the Union County whatever elderly program dropped her off out front. And they have to put her room number on the bags and so she can get back to her assisted living place. No, she got there by herself. She's like 4'9", 4'10", with heels on. Slammed into my foot. And I was like, God damn it. What the fuck? No, you can't be mad at him, Travis. No, I can't be mad at him. But hey, own up to your responsibility. Well, that's another generation. That generation is almost gone. So she hit me with her cart, ran over my foot. Now, who was to say that I didn't have a broken foot? Or I've got some kind of disease or something on my toe, not to give anything away. But I don't have anything going on. But still, for her to, and nonchalantly, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. You didn't see me? Ma'am, you did not see me. I didn't see anybody. So, oh God, that was gross. So I got my truck back. Yep. Got it back. I was expecting the worst. I was expecting a cold shoulder. I was expecting attitude when I dropped the truck off. I was expecting to be disappointed. I dropped the truck off, and like I said, it's one of those service stations where if you roll up close enough, the roll-up doors will go up automatically. Because it's cold here in North Carolina, and we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville, and I had to take it over to Monroe, which is the next town over. And I pull up, and the lady who I complained about, immediately, as soon as I rolled up, immediately came out. How you doing, Mr. Holmes? Are you dropping the truck off? Yep, yes, I'm dropping it off. Okay, we'll give you a call as soon as it's done. Yippity skippity. She walks inside. And so I take my dad and I go to breakfast and stuff. And I'll dive into that too here during the show. Experience with eating breakfast outside in public with my dad. A couple hours later, the Chevy dealership calls me up. Mr. Holmes, your truck's ready. I'm like, great. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, you know what happens at noon. I said, yeah, my dad's got a doctor's appointment. I won't be able to come up there until tomorrow morning. Will that be okay? Yeah, that'll be fine. All right. So we go up there the next morning, my dad and I. Again, I got to buy him breakfast because he took me up there. It's like a 22-mile drive. Yeah, oh yeah, we're out here. We're out here in the woods. So after we finish our breakfast, and like I said, I'll dive into that here a little bit later on in the show. Before I even go get the truck or go inside to check out, I go look at the truck because I want to go in there. I was just waiting. This looks like shit. Is this what you call repair? You know, I was ready. Guns were hot. They were loaded, hollow tips, everything. And I walked up to the truck, and I looked down the side of the truck, and I go, well, I'll be goddamn. Now, if you watched the video from last week, I posted pictures of the actual dent where, just to catch you guys up, a rock from me mowing kicked up and hit right behind my driver's side door, put a nice little, about the size of a quarter dent in my truck. Scratched the paint and all that. I'm like, there's no way they're going to make this look perfect. By God, I picked it up. The only thing I saw was the paint that was missing from the actual contact. There was no ripple. There was no dent. Even the paint chip itself was flush. It was as deep as the paint, the thickness of the paint of the truck. I said, well, hot damn. I'm actually satisfied. I'm actually satisfied with the work that you did on this truck to remove this dent. I was so happy. Went inside, signed all the paperwork. Oh, your insurance covered everything. And I said, it better. I paid goddamn $800 for it. Or whatever over, the length of the loan and stuff. Came out to $126, and they're paying for the whole thing. All right, great, good. Perfect. Is there anything else we can help you with? No. I need to get some touch-up paint, though. Where's your touch-up paint? Hold on one sec. They get the VIN number, give me the VIN number, and I go to the service department, give them the VIN number, and all of a sudden they pop out one of these. If you're watching this here on the channel, this is my touch-up paint. No, I haven't opened this before. I've never used touch-up paint like this straight from a dealership. I always buy like the little fingernail polish stuff that you see at Wal Mart. Get something close to whatever car you got. This is the first time I'm going to open it here on the air. So now's a chance for you to go over to YouTube and check us out at, you can find us at search at This Is 50 Show. There's another guy out there who's got a show about 50 cents or something like that. Don't worry about him. Steer clear from him. This is it. Look at that. Looks like a rocket ship. And I'll admit, this is the second time I've opened it. But they say this little point on the top here, if you're looking at it, it's supposed to remove any of the loose chips of paint around the area. So I don't know what this is. But I've got it. This is the touch-up for my truck. And I thought that was amazing. And it's got the model number and the paint color scheme and all that stuff on it. $30 for this thing. Now, if you're not watching this on the YouTube, shame on you, by the way. But it's the size of a large Sharpie marker. You know how you've got the real skinny ones? This is like a large Sharpie marker, but it's not a marker. It's got a brush or something. I don't want to open up here and here. I'll spill it. No, my luck, I'll spill it all over myself. But it looks like it's got a little paint brush inside and a little marker. I will open this. Oh, yeah. I'm going to spill that out. I can already tell. I'm going to make a mess. So anyways, this is what I got. I'm happy. I'm extremely happy with the outcome. Oh, God. I can smell that now. It's like paint. I'm happy with my truck. They did a good job, and I'll show pictures here in the YouTube video. I took my dad to lunch, and I say lunch, breakfast. My mom always said to me behind my dad's back that my dad has no couth. And what I mean by no couth is my mom was a highfalutin, high society. We came from, the outskirts of New York City and, rhinestones, gemstones. And my dad's from like Fayetteville, North Carolina. Tobacco farmer. So my dad is kind of like, can you pass the jelly? Oh. So we went to breakfast the other day, and I'll dive into another reason why my dad has no couth. So stick around. I'll be right back. My wife and I took advantage of something new that's been brought to our area. Like I said, I told you we live out in the middle of nowhere. We broadcast. I say broadcast. We live on our house and everything sits on 22 some odd acres. We have horses, animals, no dogs anymore. They all passed away, unfortunately. The skunk. We found out we have a skunk living underneath one of the stalls by the barn where the horses are. You can smell it down there. Ooh. And one of the things my wife and I, we got to a point in the last couple of years where we're like going, you know what? We're social people. My wife has got not a social job, but she's a executive. Actually, she's a vice president of her position at a company. And I do this. I do this for a living. This is one of 4 shows that I do. So we don't get to go out and mingle and have friends and family and stuff. The closest restaurant is 10 miles away. And that's driving at, 45, 55 miles an hour. So 10 miles is, it takes a long time to get there. There's no bars around us. So it's kind of like bar at home. And something came up the other day. My wife and I were talking back and forth as far as, let's see, with all these new houses and stuff that they're building up around us. And, not to get sidetracked here. Remember the house where the woman went missing and left the husband and stuff? And that house had an open house. The house sold. It sold in 3 days. You know how much for? Is that the right English? I don't know. $775,000. And they sit on 1.5 acres. Now we sit on 22 some odd acres here. Our house is a little bit bigger. Our house is close to 4,000 square feet, and I think they're at 2,800 square feet. But still, $775,000 for that house. Yep, sold. I guess they're in the process of moving out. So that's the update on the house there. Now the update on my wife and I in this area. We went out for drinks the other night, Saturday afternoon. I say Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, around 4 o'clock before the sun goes down. On my side of town. I think I got a song there somewhere. We looked up Uber, and Uber runs out here. We were so excited. You should see the look on my wife's face. She was so excited. Uber runs out here? Yeah. Does it run out here all the time? I don't know. Well, I did a little trial run a couple of weeks ago just to see. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's where do you want to go? Oh man, let's go to, there's a biker bar up the road, big chain restaurant biker bar called Iron Thunder. Yeah, Uber will show up. How much is the ride there? $15. Well, hot damn, that's not bad. So we got an Uber. And we went to Iron Thunder, sat there. I probably had like 4 or 5 drinks. My wife had, I think, maybe 2, 3 drinks. We don't care, but we're not fucking driving home. Got an Uber. Uber was there in less than 6 minutes. Took us home. It was $15 to get there, $14 to get back home. $28, $29. You do the math. I'm not a magician or anything like that. Do they do math? And we had a great time. We had an awesome time. We had a couple bar bites and stuff, and it was just awesome. So now that's opened up a brand new world for myself and my wife. As far as, worrying about, having a couple drinks and then going out on the road and having a couple drinks there and then coming back, under that influence. And, less than $30 with the tips and stuff, that's not bad to get somewhere and do that and not feel bad about it. You'll feel bad the next morning because you're like, oh, Jesus, what the hell did I drink? Did I do shots off your belly last night, babe? Yes, you did. All right. Well, at least someone paid our tab. Now, out of the kindness of my heart, I say kindness of my heart. It's one of those things. It's human nature. If someone does something for you, just something like a ride somewhere, you either give them gas money or you take them out for lunch or you buy lunch for them or something like that. My dad being no exception, being that he's family and stuff, but, still, he doesn't get out a whole lot. And to ask him to drive me to the dealership, why didn't you Uber? Well, because it's cheaper for the most part to take my dad out for lunch. So I thought. I say lunch all the time. It's breakfast. So we dropped the truck off to have the dent fixed. This is breakfast 1. And there's not a whole lot of sit-down, quote-unquote, breakfasts. There's chain restaurants like Bojangles, Burger King, all that stuff. All the sit-down restaurants for breakfast are like privately owned. Mom and pop shops. They're not chains or anything like that. So we sat down at this one restaurant called Sun Valley Cafe. We were the only ones in there outside of 2 other couples. Well, then you're not the only ones in there. But it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I sit down and my dad goes, I don't know what to get. And there's all the stuff on the menu. I said, Dad, if the waitress has been here for any length of time, she should know the ins and outs of this menu. Tell her what you want. So waitress comes over, and she looked like Flo from Mel's Diner. What can I get for you, honey? Kiss my grits. My dad's like, I want sausage, bacon, eggs, grits. You want toast with that, honey? No, I want a biscuit. He doesn't talk like that. He goes, I want a biscuit. Honey, you want the grits in a bowl or on the plate? On the plate. All right. And what you want? And I said, I want chicken fried steak. It's hard to find it, but I get it. I'll eat it every time it's on the menu for breakfast, chicken fried steak, eggs, and so on and so forth. I didn't get grits. I like hash browns. Because many, many years ago, my dad, as a toddler, as I'm growing up, my dad would never eat restaurant grits because he always complained about them. They're either, these are fucking instant grits. These are too, this or too that or whatever. He always complained about the grits every time. So I never got grits as a breakfast meal. My dad gets grits, and I'm like, who is this guy? Well, he's 78 years old. He doesn't know what's going on. So he gets his grits, and they come out on the plate, and the grits are literally covering his eggs, covering his sausage, the meats, and all that stuff. It's just spread out all over the plate. But it doesn't matter because my whole family takes eggs and grits and chops them all up and makes it like a grit omelet or something. You see them out there. It's a southern thing, I guess, for the most part. I know some people that put sugar and cream on grits. Now, salt and scrambled eggs or regular eggs in there and chop it all up. So he chomps it all up and gets everything all prepped over there, and I'm eating my chicken fried steak. And I says, Dad, how's everything? Oh, God, here we go. The guy who never cooks a day in his life. Every meal is microwave. He's complaining about this meal? It never fails. No matter where we go, he always complains about, the potatoes are too lumpy. the coffee's too bitter. It never, like he's some kind of Alton Brown or something where he's the best chef in the world. He's not. But he'll complain about it. So I look over at him, and I've got an orange juice and a water. And one thing that my dad said about the water, and I will agree with him, because here where we live out, we are on a well, but we have a water softener, we have filters, we have all that stuff. The water is really, really good. You can tell good water than bad water. And I didn't realize it. My dad took a sip of his water. He goes, city water. I go, what are you talking about? And I took a sip of the water. I go, oh, God, it is city water. It's metallic tasting. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Dehydrate yourself here? So we're getting halfway through the meal. My dad's wrapping up his grits and stuff, and he's trying to take his biscuit and trying to sob up the grits that are left on the table. And I said something to him. I said, how are the grits? He goes, they're good, but they're runny. I said, okay, I didn't think anything of it. He gets a straw, and I think he's going to put it into his cup of or glass of water. He leans over. I'm not kidding. He leans over, puts the straw in his mouth, puts the straw on his plate, and starts going. I said, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? I wanted to see if I could do it. I said, do what? And I just wanted to see how runny they were if they would go through my straw. Well, they go through the straw. I'm like, Dad, what? That is so, not that it's gross. You would expect a 5-year-old to do that. You would expect a toddler to do that. You wouldn't expect I say a grown man, I use that term loosely with him, a man who's 78 years old, sitting in the middle of a restaurant where 2 other couples are in there. So there's no background noise. There's not like it's hustling and bustling. It's just me and my dad, 2 other couples, like tables and over there and tables over there. And then all of a sudden you hear this. They're going to turn and look and saying, who's that toddler sipping on the bottom of their orange juice glass? And they're going to see my dad sucking down grits with a straw on his plate. I said, Jesus Christ, Dad, put that away. Put that away. And he snickers and he goes, I said, you know, if Mom was here, she would whip your ass. You have no couth, Dad. So, I am pissed off. Of course you are, Trav. I am pissed off at the generator people. They promised me. I say promised me. We had I almost said an emotional agreement. We had a verbal agreement, and they fucking let me down. And I'll dive into that and tell me if I'm right or wrong on that as well. So stick around. I'll be right back. I have added a new accessory to my sleeping arrangements. If you guys have been listening to the past, this will be actually next month will be 3 years doing the show. 3 years doing This Is 50. Thank you very much. I know. Appreciate you guys listening to me getting all this stuff out. I do the show for therapy for myself. I'm still taking my pills. I'm doing well with that. But there's now another drawback that I have with taking my pills. The one that I'm on right now is I take it twice a day. And I was stacking them. If you listen to the past couple shows ago, I was stacking them and it was making me forget shit left and right. So now I've opted for a 12-hour span in between the two. Take one at 8 at night or 8 in the morning and then 8 at night. In the process of taking the one at 8 o'clock at night, it is a antidepressant. And I use that term very loosely. It is something that makes me mellow. It's something that kind of chills me out. I'm not so stressed about stuff. And I've been not stressed about anything because I forget half the shit. As soon as I wake up, it's like Groundhog Day. What the hell happened yesterday? Don't you remember it? No, I don't remember anything. But part of the second dose is that after having a couple beers throughout the day, and I still do my same cutoff. I cut off at 6 o'clock. It's the least you could do. Cut off at 6 o'clock. I make myself a great meal, chicken breast or chicken thigh or something like that, and broccoli or rice or something like that. Because we do live, like I said, on a big property, no restaurants around. And when I take the second dose, and my wife finally comes home from work, she works in Charlotte part-time. It's an hour drive home, so she leaves there at 7:30. She might get home at 8:45. My day's already wrapped up. I'm laying in bed, watching a little TV. And then my pill basically kicks in. I'm like, all right, babe, it's 9:30. Time for me to go to bed. And then, I'm out. And I snore. I snore. I found out there are two types of snoring. There's the throat snore, where the CPAP comes in. And then there's the nasal snore. The nasal snore is what keeps my wife up. The guttural suffocating of my throat and stuff doesn't keep her up at all. She might push me, hey, breathe a little bit. Okay, thank you. Don't die on me. Your insurance policy hasn't paid out yet. So I've been wearing, now listen to this get up. I wear earplugs at night. Squeeze them, nice soft foam ones. Squeeze them, put a little Vicks Vapor Rub on them. Squeeze them, pinch them, twist them, stick them in my ear. Why do you put the Vicks Vapor Rub on them? Because it makes everything, ear, nose, and throat, all those are connected. Vapor Rub goes in there and kind of clears everything up. I wear a blinder mask because I do. I just still. And now I'm wearing, I don't know, I'm sorry if you're watching me on the video here. Right here. I wear those Breathe Right strips. You know what I'm talking about? They stick them on your nose, and it's supposed to make you breathe better at night. And I go, this is bullshit. And somewhere I was cleaning out one of the drawers in the bathroom in our vanity there. And I'm like, oh, shit, we got Breathe Right strips. She's like, try them out. No, like, nothing like, hey, those might work for you. No, try them out. That's what she says. So I put them on one night. I'm like, this is not going to do anything. I peeled the back off, and I push it on. And if you've never seen one before, they look like a butterfly. Like if you get stitches or something, it looks like a butterfly strip. And you put it over the bridge of your nose. Watching this here on at This Is 50 show. And then you'd let it go. and there's like this copper or wire in there that opens up your nasal passages. Boop. I'm like, I can breathe. She's like, good. So outside of my earplugs with a vapor rub in my ears and my sleep mask, I now have to wear the Breathe Right strip on my nose. I still do the guttural from my throat now and then, but I have to, while I'm laying in bed, now I have to think about breathe through your nose, not through your mouth. Dummy. Breathe through your nose, not through your mouth. So I've been wearing that now. We'll see how it goes. I guarantee if I drop another 10 pounds, that'll all go away. Because this is all neck fat. You know what I mean? Neck fat. My dad was freaking out. The other day. It was 82 degrees in his room. Well, how did he know it was 82 degrees? For Christmas one year, I bought him an internal thermometer, like digital thermometer or whatever. So he would know exactly if it's him getting hot, like physically with his medication and stuff, or is the room too hot for him? And sure enough, it paid off the other day. I'm sitting up here in the studio working on one of the podcasts that I was doing, editing and stuff, so I could take phone calls and stuff. And I get a text saying, it's 82 degrees in my room. Now, we are coming out of December. This is the first week officially of February, and we do this show every Friday at 1 p.m. We did 128 today, so we did well. This was Thursday. We've had some nice warm weather, highs of 62 at night, lows of 48. So when we have highs of 62, 68 degrees, we actually had a 72 degrees day. My dad's room is still set up as if it was, 40 during the day and 22 at night. And I said to my dad, is your heater on in your room? And the heaters that we use, that we found that we get the best results from, are the oil heaters, those radiator heaters. They look like the old school radiator heaters that you see like in schools or up north and stuff. And there's an element in there, and it just heats the oil up and it radiates heat. I turned it down. I said, okay. So I go in his room, and it's fucking 82. And he grabbed that thermostat, that thermometer thing, that digital thermometer, and handed it right to me. See, it's 82. I'm sweating in here. And so I look at the thing for the house, and I go, Dad, it's 73 in the house. And I'm doing this, like with my hands, like I'm not praying, but like exercising demons. I'm feeling around like I'm in the short end of a swimming pool. And I go, Dad, your fucking room is hot. I said, is the heater still on in this room? No, I turned it down. I told you. I said, where's your heater at? Up against the wall. Now, I went to the thermostat in the house, the AC, and I clicked it down to 71. I said, I'm going to click this down to 71 for 2 hours, and hopefully it'll cool your room off. Meanwhile, I'm looking at his radiator heater that's next between his bed and the wall, and it's still on. But it's not on max. It's on medium. I said, Dad, you did not turn this off. I turned it down. These heaters do not regulate thermostat that way. They come on either every 3 minutes, every 10 minutes, or every 22 minutes. You just turned it down to where it just comes on every 22 minutes. It's still going to heat the room. It's still punching out heat. And you got this ceiling fan on. You got this little space fan on you. And I've got a floor fan out here. I said, you're basically sitting in an air fryer, Dad. You're going to come out crispy because you're a convection oven. You've got the heat going. You've got the air circulating around you and stuff. You've got your computer going on. You got the TV going on. All this heat, Dad. Do you want me to open up the window? Well, it reflects off the TV. You don't have to open the blinds, Dad. You can just open. It's a double jalousie window. You just slide them up. Double pane window. Sorry. You just slide it up. Window's still closed and everything. Blinds are all closed. Huh? Jesus Christ. Aren't you supposed to be eating grits or something? Sucking through a straw? So he went through that, and I said, do you understand how this works now? Yes. I said, is it cool enough in your room? Yes. Okay. Good. Oh, for fuck's sake. So the next day, I pick up my truck with my dad, and of course, I have to take him out for breakfast again. There was a new restaurant that opened up. We were going to try it out, sit-down restaurant. It used to be like a luncheon dinner restaurant, and he just kind of transferred it over to a breakfast and lunch type place, like a diner. My dad walks in there, and he wears, with pride, a hat that says Border Patrol Officer. It's one of those gimmick hats or whatever. And he actually was sitting at a small restaurant, diner around here locally. And two of our city's finest bought him breakfast because they saw his hat on. Two police officers from our town saw him with the border hat on, and they paid for his breakfast one day. So we walk into this restaurant, brand new restaurant that switched, not owners, they just switched their format. And I said, okay, let's go in here to have breakfast. So we sit down, and it's the same family that owned it as like I said, but I did not realize that they were all Spanish, like Mexican. Now, we do have a large Mexican community in this area because we do have poultry and processing plants around us. I mean, Union County, if you look it up on the internet, Union County is very famous for chicken production and also just like plastics and chemical production and stuff. No wonder we're all weird out here. And he's got a Border Patrol officer hat on. And this lady comes over and she's taking our meal and stuff. The meal was fine. Meal was great. Mine kind of sucked, but they're not catering to, gringo white guys. They're, catering to a different clientele. But my dad got grits. The grits were good. There was a thing on the window that said 10% off seniors if you come in on Tuesday. So no Couth. No Couth at all. When we come back, I'm going to talk about how the generator people fucked up. God almighty. I was so pissed. So pissed. So stick around. I'll be right back. I'm watching, sorry about that. I'm watching things on TikTok. That's where I get all my news from. TikTok. Now that it's been banned and brought back, and they've reformatted it and algorithms and all that stuff. I'm still not on Facebook. Still banned from Facebook. This doesn't bother me at all. The more and more I'm not on it, the less and less likely I'll probably go back. I'll do it for business purposes and stuff, but as far as like personal pages, I'll probably not do any of that. Just because there's so many people that watch or connect quickly through Facebook with all the other stuff that I do. I've noticed that, and this is just my opinion, which means nothing to you guys, but all the world to me. This is an observation that I've had. I graduated from high school in 1991. The summer of my graduation year, the song Smells Like Teen Spirit came out. Blew everyone off the chart. The whole grunge scene came out. You have Soundgarden and Mudhoney and Grunt Trunk and all the other bands that have come out during that grunge era. And Nirvana leading the flagship for them. Smashing Pumpkins also as well. Now, I was never really a big Smashing Pumpkins fan until like after a while, after I learned, okay, this is their kind of music, this is what they do and everything. And then, of course, Nirvana ended abruptly for some reason. Fucking hole. And so there was that void there. So all the other grunge bands had to kind of step up, and Smashing Pumpkins released that Infinite Sadness or whatever their double CD was, and Soundgarden came out with a pretty good album, and all the other bands came out with good stuff. But now, lead singer Soundgarden's gone, and all the other bands they were doing the grunge era, they've either broken up or gone away. Now, say what you want about Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan's still around. And he's got a brand new podcast that's coming out. I think it's called The Magnificent Others. And I think because Billy Corgan is still around. Now, I'm just throwing this out there, but you're going to see a lot more of him. I've seen a lot more of him no matter what, because that's just I like him. He's an interesting guy. He's kind of quirky, kind of nerdy, but produces all this great, crazy music. You might hate him or whatever. I don't give a shit. It's not like I'm going to go out and sign his autographs or anything like that. And I think, in my opinion, that Smashing Pumpkins, because of the next generation that's come around, has surpassed Nirvana as far as being relative anymore. I guarantee you in the next 2-3 years, Nirvana is not cool anymore. Nirvana is not going to be what you thought they were. They're going to be the I don't know what band to compare them to, but Nirvana's going to be like the Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix. Did you know he never had like a number one song? But then he faded away. He died, and his music was popular because he was dead, and then now you don't hear anything about Jimi Hendrix anymore. Nirvana's going to be the same thing. I think Smashing Pumpkins with Billy Corgan. Now Billy Corgan's the main guy. He owns everything. Him and his head own everything. But I'm gonna say that there's going to be a new generation that's going to think that Smashing Pumpkins is the better off band compared to Nirvana. I'm going to say yes. I was never a big fan of either one. I mean, I liked them. They were different. Siamese Dream from Smashing Pumpkins and that double disc set. Great music. Nirvana, I think, just kind of missed it because of the uncircumstances. Fucking hole. And, but I see Smashing Pumpkins taking over the reins as the number one grunge band from that area. From that era and area. All the same. My wife and I have watched all the shows. We've watched all the Hell's Kitchens. We've watched all the what's the other one we watched? So Survivor. Big Brother's coming out in the spring, so we got to wait for that. But there's a couple shows that we've been watching on Netflix that they're just released a couple seasons of. One is The Night Agent, and the other one is The Recruit. I'm not really big on big drama movies like this or big drama series. I really don't like the whole government, FBI. My wife loves it. Oh, she loves it because she likes to, pick apart and trying to, solve the crime and all that stuff. The first season of Night Agent was okay. I know I'll get to the generator thing here in a minute because I got to get all my beans in a pile here. The second season of The Night Agent, I was listening to a friend of mine talk about whatever show, and he goes, the reason why I don't like such and such show is because I don't feel for the characters. And I said, you know what? That's probably my problem watching The Night Agent. The second season of Night Agent, he's just a big fucking goofball. He's and my wife goes, it's probably because of his teeth. Yeah, he does have a couple gaps between his teeth, but like the fighting scenes, you're supposed to be like this FBI, not secret agent. They're like third string agents called night agents where they only work at night and, they have code passwords and stuff. That was really cool. First season, second season. Now they've made him like part of the crew, and he was getting in a fight with this 60-year-old guy, and he's a young, not a buff guy, but he's fit. And the 60-year-old guy was kicking his ass. And my wife even said, come on, you're supposed to be part of the fucking FBI. Kick his ass. And I'm like, yeah. And then there's a love story with this girl who they just don't, there's no chemistry on the scene. And so we get into episode 2, and she's like, you want to watch Night Agent tonight? Because my wife's all into it. Because it's a love story with a little bit of FBI-ness in it. And I go, babe, no, I cannot watch FBI. You're an FBI guy. I will watch The Recruit, though. Recruit is a great show. There's the writing is not awesome. It's perfect. It's the right amount of humor, and it's not like jump style kick humor. It's the humor in situations, meanwhile being FBI CIA agent type stuff. So those are my 2 recommendations. If you like light stupid humor, Night Agent. If you like the a little bit more hearty, a little bit more beef in your stew, the Recruit's pretty good. Second season's pretty good too. And the guy's likable. He's a likable guy. I feel for him. He's like 6'5" though. He's like Vince Vaughn. He's a huge guy, tall guy. But it's his timing and his it's believable. The other guy, not so much. So we have the generator put in. Generator's in, generator's up and running. It's all hooked up. And the way that the process for the payment went like this. You put in, sorry, I'm clicking through screens here. You give them a deposit. So let's say I'm just going to tell you, let's say, for argument's sake, it was $14,000. $14,000, you pay half up front, and then when it's all done, they pass all the inspections, you pay the other half, right? So $7,000 came out. Then they dropped off the concrete slab that it sits on. They have a pre-made slab that's designed for that unit. So when it vibrates and stuff, it doesn't really shake the whole ground. It's, you know. And then they did all the electrical connections. They ran wires underneath the house. I've got another breaker box outside and all this stuff. All the electrical's done. Boom. Inspection done. Boom. We passed inspections. A couple of little hiccups, but we passed. Not my fault. Not like I'm out there doing something, but they went out there and fixed it, and then they came back around and passed them again. So Chloe is my contact through, it's called Cantor. Cantor is the electrical company that represents Home Depot. This was all purchased through Home Depot. This is a third-party company that installs them. Chloe calls me and says, as soon as this one thing passes inspection, we'll be able to close out your account and hopefully everything will be okay. And I said, and we can, collect the final payment. I said, Chloe, listen to me. Great. I'm excited. Everyone here in the household's excited. We're going to have power if we ever lose power through a snowstorm, rainstorm, or anything like that. Because we're out in the middle of the fucking country. I told you that several times. I said, before you send me that bill, I need to transfer the money. She's like, are we still going to use the same card? I said, yes, we're going to use the same card, but I have the money, your second payment, sitting in a savings account. I don't need it sitting in my checking account and accidentally get, spent or bought or whatever. Oh my God. Yes, Mr. Holmes, we can do that for you. I will let you know when we're getting ready to charge that card. Great. That's what she says. I've got it recorded on my phone because, like I said, I record every conversation that I ever have with anyone, even the bad call people, which is another podcast I do. Shameless plug. So she calls me back and say, okay, everything's ready, and we'll get all the paperwork and we'll let you know, type deal. I'm like, great. Now what she doesn't know is my dad has transferred the money to because he basically paid for the generator. My dad transferred the money to my business account. And I let it sit in there, knowing that I didn't have any major bills coming out of the checking account. But I did have $1,000 left over from the first payment. My dad sent me $8,000. I'm like, no, it's only $7,000. He's like, I'll send you $8,000. I'll send you $8,000. All right. So pay $7,000, and I took the other $1,000, stuck it in an account, so I didn't accidentally spend it. So my dad now sends me $6,000 because we have $1,000. Are you doing the math? Are you following me? I have $1,000 sitting in another account. But when my dad sends me the $6,000, I've got $1,500 or whatever dollars. I know I'm getting to my bank account here. I've already got $1,500 sitting in that account because I've got bills that float that I need to pay certain people and all the podcasting stuff that I do and servers and subscriptions and all that stuff and blah, 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 blah. So after I pick up my truck, this has all happened over the weekend. I bought my dad lunch or bought my dad breakfast twice, $50 a piece on that one. Jesus Christ. Better off taking an Uber. I look at my account and my account has dropped all the way to under $500. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Now, those of you out there who have a business account, you might not know this. You have to have a certain balance in your business account that's higher than your normal personal account. And I think my bank, you can't have less than $800 in your checking account and less than $3,000 in your savings account. Savings account's fine. But they don't want you to go below a $800 threshold on your business checking account. And I look and it's $300. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I look, sure enough, Cantor, generator, withdrawal, $7,000. I said, what the? Hi, this is Chloe. Chloe, hey. Now, I'm talking to Chloe at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what that means? A couple of these went down pretty smooth before then. I said, hey, what's going on? Well, what do you mean, Mr. Holmes? I said, you were supposed to tell me when you were going to charge that card or run the transaction through so I could transfer the money over. I said, the money's gone out of that account. This is her response. Well, you know, we don't technically have to tell you per our contract. I said, that's fine, but you and I, physically one-on-one as human beings, have talked to each other and said, hey, Chloe, yes, Mr. Holmes, please do not charge that card and let me know when you charge that card so I can move the money over that I have designated for your account. I sure will do that, Mr. Holmes. All right, fine. I said, so why am I having this conversation with you now? I said, I've got payroll coming out of the money that you took out of my account. Now, here come the salty tears. What am I supposed to tell the guys where they've worked for me all week doing stuff here on the property and you know, what I made up something. I don't know what I made up. And they go to cash their check on Monday and it bounces. What am I supposed to do? Well, Mr. Holmes, you know, I can find out, you know, through financial what actually happened, but I don't. Can I call you, sir? Give me a second. I'll find out the answer for you and call you back. Okay, fine. And now I'm not pissed. I'm not upset, but I'm stern. So my wife comes home that evening. You okay, babe? Yeah, it's just my dad in his 82-degree room and found out that, and nothing. I don't want to bore you with it. You've been working all day, 12-hour days. I'm not going to bore you with it. So I went to sleep, woke up, put my Breathe Right strip on, put my earplugs in, my face mask, went to sleep as she's watching Night Agent. Next morning, woke up. You seemed a little upset last night. Are you okay? Did you take your pill? First of all, that's what she says. I'm like, yeah, I took my pill. She's like, you're a little upset. What happened? I said to her, explain everything. And I told her not to charge a card and let me know and I'll transfer the money over. My wife goes, well, legally, she doesn't have to tell you anything. You put the card on record. They are going to charge that card. And I go, I know, but it's the principle. She said, and my wife, because she's in finances and all that, she's like, you can say all you want. And I said, legally, as soon as I said legally, she's like, you have no legal action against her. I said, no, I don't. That's not where I was going at. But legally, don't they have to let me know when they're going to charge that card? She's like, no, my wife. Love you, babe. My wife. No, they don't have to tell you anything. You gave them a credit card on file, and that's the card that they're going to use to make the payment or finish off the payment. And I go, I'm not going to fight about this. So I said, but just the principle of it. She's like, you can say all you want, babe, but that's what they've given you. You've given them the number, and you gave them this, and I said, but what if I didn't? What if I didn't have that money in the account? And what if I only had like $1,000 in that account, and they went and charged $7,000? I would be in the hole $6,000 and bank fines and all that other stuff. She's like, well, then that's something you need to talk to your bank. I'm like, babe, you are my bank. You work for my bank. Oh, I know, babe, but she's like, it's the way it is. I'm like, it's not the way it is. It shouldn't be that way. It's not good business practices, is what I'm saying. It's not good business practice. Very nice lady, Chloe. She every week gave me an update of what was going on and yada, 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 and this and that and this. The one thing that she dropped the ball on was when I asked her, do not charge the card until I know I can transfer the money over, and then within 30 minutes or what, you can charge the card. She did not do that. got everything else right. Messed up on this. I don't know. So, thank you guys for listening to me work all this stuff out. Make sure you follow us over on YouTube at This Is 50 Show over on YouTube and give us a like and subscribe over there. Okay, I'll talk to you later. See you, bye.
Hey, this is Chloe.
Chloe! Hey, it's Travis Holmes over on Olive Branch Road.
How are you?
Well, not well. I just looked at my bank account, and it looks like you guys have pulled the money out without you telling me that you were pulling the money out. Remember we had this whole conversation that I said, hey, wait, let me know, and I'll transfer the money over. Now I got backdraft fees.